When foreign investors establish a company in Vietnam, most attention naturally goes toward market opportunity, licensing, operations, and growth. Compliance is often treated as a technical or administrative function. Accounting providers are hired, legal documents are prepared, reports are submitted, and management assumes everything is operating properly. But over time, many foreign-owned companies discover that the biggest compliance risk in Vietnam is not always the law itself. It is working with advisors who are not transparent. Because in Vietnam, foreign investors often rely heavily on local compliance partners to understand regulations, communicate risks, and maintain operational stability. And when trust or transparency is missing, small compliance issues can quietly evolve into major business problems. Unlike domestic businesses, foreign investors entering Vietnam often face information gaps. The legal environment may be unfamiliar, regulatory practices may differ significantly from other countries, and many operational procedures require local understanding. This means foreign-owned companies depend heavily on accountants, lawyers, payroll providers, and compliance consultants to interpret risks accurately. In practice, foreign investors may not immediately recognize whether something inside the compliance structure is weak. They trust local professionals to guide them properly. That is why transparency becomes critically important. Because if compliance partners hide risks, oversimplify problems, or fail to communicate honestly, the investor may not discover the issue until authorities, auditors, or regulators become involved later. One of the most dangerous situations for foreign investors in Vietnam is believing everything is compliant simply because no concerns have been raised. Some compliance providers avoid difficult conversations. Risks are minimized, questions receive vague answers, or problems are hidden temporarily to avoid upsetting the client. At first, this may appear convenient. Management feels reassured, operations continue smoothly. But underneath the surface, compliance exposure may continue growing. Missing documentation, incorrect tax treatment, weak payroll structures, unreported risks, or accounting inconsistencies. And eventually, these issues become visible during audits, tax inspections, licensing procedures, or investor due diligence processes. Many foreign investors entering Vietnam appreciate service providers who appear flexible and solution-oriented. But experienced investors eventually realize something important. A provider who says yes to everything may actually create more risk. Strong compliance advisors do not simply approve every structure automatically. They explain limitations, they raise concerns, they identify risks, and they help clients understand both commercial opportunities and legal exposure. In Vietnam, honest risk assessment is often more valuable than hearing what management wants to hear. Because long-term compliance stability depends on making informed decisions, not simply fast decisions. The true quality of a compliance provider is rarely tested during normal operations. It becomes visible when pressure appears. During an audit, a tax inspection, a licensing issue, or a regulatory inquiry. Some providers become difficult to reach during these moments. Others avoid responsibility or provide incomplete explanations. This creates enormous stress for foreign investors who suddenly realize they do not fully understand the company's compliance situation. Transparent compliance providers operate differently. They communicate proactively, explain the situation clearly, respond quickly, and help management navigate the problem instead of disappearing when scrutiny begins. For foreign-owned companies in Vietnam, this level of transparency can significantly reduce operational and legal risk. Many foreign investors choose service providers in Vietnam based on personal recommendations or informal trust. And while relationships matter, compliance trust should not depend only on friendliness or convenience. Professional trust should be built on clear communication, responsiveness, ethical conduct, documentation discipline, practical FDI experience, and willingness to explain risks honestly. Because foreign investors are not simply outsourcing paperwork, they are outsourcing part of the company's operational credibility. And if the compliance structure later fails, the business itself, not the service provider, usually bears the consequences first. Imagine a foreign-owned trading company operating in Vietnam for several years. The accounting and compliance provider appears responsive during onboarding. Reports are submitted regularly. Management assumes compliance is functioning normally. Whenever questions arise, the provider gives simple reassurance. No problem, everything is under control. But later, during annual audit preparation, serious issues emerge. Supporting documents are incomplete. Several tax treatments were incorrect. Payroll declarations contain inconsistencies, and management realizes the provider never properly explained the risks developing inside the company. The problem was not only technical, it was the absence of transparency from the beginning. This situation is far more common in Vietnam than many foreign investors expect. At LTS Law, we regularly advise foreign investors who encounter operational and legal problems connected to weak compliance support structures. This is why transparency, responsiveness, ethical conduct, and communication quality are important criteria when we assess accounting and audit partners suitable for foreign-owned companies in Vietnam. Although LTS Law does not directly provide accounting or audit services, we help clients identify professionally assessed partners capable of supporting FDI businesses with stronger compliance discipline and clearer communication standards. Because sustainable business operations in Vietnam require more than technical filing capability. They require trusted professionals willing to communicate risks honestly before problems escalate. Many foreign investors only realize the importance of trust and transparency after a compliance problem has already started affecting operations. But by that stage, correcting structural weaknesses often becomes significantly more expensive and stressful. At LTS Law, we help foreign investors understand that strong compliance is not only about legal knowledge or accounting expertise. It is also about working with professionals who communicate clearly, act transparently, and help protect the company's long-term stability. If you are operating or planning to establish a foreign-invested company in Vietnam and want guidance on building a stronger compliance structure or selecting suitable accounting and audit partners, book a consultation with LTS Law. Because in Vietnam, trust and transparency are not soft qualities in compliance services. They are part of risk management itself.